Okay. Good evening. All right, we're going to start with the minutes from the February 21st meeting. Everyone get a chance to take a look at them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The corrections, comments? Hearing none, the minutes are accepted. Thank you. Okay. Public input. We have a letter from Jay Braun regarding baseball field, the baseball field behind Riverfield School. Is Jay here, or is just okay? Did everyone get the email?
Yes.
Right. I guess a couple of things, Anthony. I don't know about the dust, but I assume the grooming is not done too early. So there are rules for that.
Yeah, there are rules. So no, we've talked to the contractor to make sure that they're not getting in there too early, and they're always conscious of locations like Riverfield, Melville, ones that have houses that abut the property. Right. They try to go into those ones a little later, and I think we've even asked the leagues, if I'm not mistaken, to start their games later in the day, which gives Greenway, the contractor, more time to get to those fields a little later. So, yeah, it shouldn't be an issue, and nothing. Obviously,
clippings and that stuff.
Yeah, no, the dust is a normal complaint that we get annually, but.
And the fields in the school was there probably long before the Browns were.
What's this positioning on it? Where's this house?
I'm not 100% sure.
I can tell you.
I Google Maps it.
Basically, like you go through, like Riverfield's here. Right. You drive through, and it would be like a continuation of the drive-through line. Yeah. So it's like the same street. So the field's right here, and they probably live in this street here. There's like 4 or 5 houses on that street.
If this is Riverfield, and
this is like
95 is over there, all right? So that's south. It's right in that corner.
So you know where home plate is, right? Yeah, on the first field next to the playground. His house abuts right behind home plate.
So he's behind first base. So he's getting foul ball.
No.
More on first base.
Less first base, because first base is more the road. Right. I would say it's directly behind
I'll see how
home field. Yeah.
Well, so wait, here's Riverfield. Okay. Here's Riverfield.
Yeah, there's no balls.
Here's Riverfield. Here's Lakeside Drive. It goes like this, and it also goes like this. So he could either live here, or he could live here. We don't know.
No, I looked it up.
I looked it up.
Yeah, I would be shocked if he's getting any balls back there. Clippings, one thing, who knows? Yeah. And dust, yes.
I'm just thinking whether it's a backstop issue.
No, the backstop. My kids play there for years. Yeah. There's no balls going back there.
There's a wooden fence on.
And there's also
it's pretty far back.
I don't know. There's 15 to 20 feet of like woods.
Yeah. Hey, what can you change?
It's wetlands. It's wetlands back there also.
Yeah, there's
you
not
into the house knowing there was a baseball field.
Yeah, there's not a ton that we can do other than be mindful of when the contractor's in there and that it's not too early. That's really all we can do.
Garbage containers there.
Yes, there are. Yeah. Getting people to actually use them is a whole other issue, but we have that problem across town. But again, this was a communication that it came in. I saw it. I said, you know what? Just send it over to the commission. Just make sure that they're aware that we get stuff like this sometimes. We don't get a lot of them, but it's good to be aware of.
When it said throwing trash and drinks, that means you've got to be pretty close.
Probably on the road, you probably get stuff that blows over, like on a windy day like today or whatever, and then, I get that.
Do you know if you sent anything like this to the league leadership that they can remind their families?
I haven't seen
No, but we can. Galen may have already.
Okay. Next up. New business. Michael Foley, on behalf of the Friends of the Library, they request to hold the 8th annual Fairfield Food Truck Festival at Jennings Beach, 11 to 6 p.m. And the date is 9.
There's going to be a change in the date.
There is. Okay. But that wasn't listed on the agenda, so, okay.
Thank you very much. Kelly, Tony, Commissioners.
And if you would, and everyone else who's going to be presenting, if you would, state your name and address for the record.
Of course. My name is Michael Foley. I live at 697 Hollydale Road here in Fairfield. The Friends of Fairfield Public Library sends their regards, and we appreciate you considering our request. It is, in fact, will be the 8th annual Fairfield Food Truck Festival, which is the Friends' primary fundraiser throughout the year. It's actually the 7th festival. COVID interrupted us 1 year, and for the past 2 years, bad weather has done its darndest to interfere with our plans. Last year was a rain out. We still made about $5,000. The year before was extremely windy and cold. So fingers crossed this year that we have a really nice sunny day, because it really brings people out. Over the years, people have really come to anticipate the festival. It's grown to be quite popular, and we've raised at this point over $65,000 for the library since 2017 when we held our first festival. We continue to get strong interest from area food trucks. The food truck community is ever evolving and changing. There's folks that have been around for a long time. It's extremely hard work. I've come to really appreciate the hard work that these food trucks put in. And eventually some do move on, and we have new folks come along and express the interest in participating. And we anticipate probably the usual 15 to 20 trucks. The town has been quite supportive. The change in date that Kelly mentioned is we originally were planning Sunday the 15th. We just learned that the town is doing its Oktoberfest on Saturday the 14th. So we'd like to put a little distance between our events. So we would formally request Sunday the 22nd of September. Any questions, concerns about the festival? How we run it?
I assume we check on the 22nd?
22nd.
Question for you?
I've been to the festival. It's great. A few years ago, probably pre-COVID, when the weather was better. But any reason why you don't suggest a rain date?
We've toyed with that any number of years. For many years, we never had to worry about it because we lucked out every year after year after year. We had wonderful weather with no problems. Of course, we've been complacent, and then bad weather arrived the past 2 years. 1 year we did have a rain date, and that was 2 years ago. That's when the cold and the wind really just kept people at home. I think what I've found with the festival is if people step outside their door and it doesn't feel nice, they change their mind because no one's bought tickets, no one really has committed to being there. So we went ahead with it instead of calling it for the rain date. Then last year, if you'll recall, there was a Saturday event. The Rotary Club did their paddleboard event, which went great, but they were depressed as heck because the weather forecast was rain on Saturday, good weather on Sunday. So I know the person who runs that event, he was like, Mike, what the heck? You're going to get the good weather. Of course, everything changed within hours. The weather flipped. It was too late to call the rain date. So the logistics of the rain date just don't work for us. So we're almost willing to just sort of let fate decide how things are. Yeah. I think if we get all good vibes right here tonight, it'll work out just fine.
September's always pretty nice.
I know.
Question,
it's a good point.
how much is the entrance fee per person and
we
child?
We ask for a $5 donation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we charge the trucks $50.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone's always been very generous. Like I said, last year was complete rain out. We still had people coming up. We still had trucks to suck it out. And
is it cash and or credit or one of the other?
Cash, credit.
Okay, so everything.
Lately
Yeah.
has been popular.
Right.
Apple Pay, whatnot.
How do you invite and approve the trucks that show up, and is there a limit?
Well, we usually limit it to 15 to 20. What I've learned is I go to the trucks and I ask them their advice. They know this business. They go to festivals all the time. We simply say, what works for you? And what trucks will tell us is too many trucks doesn't work for obvious reasons, and then too few sometimes that don't work. If you get too many trucks, then they tend not to be happy with the amount of sort of business. Too few, the lines get too long. So the sweet spot for us has been 15 to 20, usually around 7.
Okay. Is there a limit where you are? Or?
There's no particular limit other than that's what we've developed as our business model, so to speak.
For the Rotary event, I'm a Rotarian.
Oh, sure.
So did you talk to Jay or Bob? Vossler or Jay Kinney?
No, it was over on 11 o'clock road.
I was just saying,
Yeah.
think about partnering with them, because they have the Paddle Fest and they have no food. That might be a way to really make that into a bigger event.
Yeah.
Yes,
And,
so they actually they attach a few things to the Paddle Fest a little bit. They do music, and
so we don't have any food.
right.
Just something to think about.
True.
Plan.
Yeah.
Anything else? Someone want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, any further conversation, commission? Anything from the public?
Everyone's invited. I'll let you guys in first, yeah.
Back to the commission, all those in favor?
Thank you very much appreciated. Oh, by the way, brand new fundraiser for the Friends Library is, we're doing a Broadway trip in May to see Water for Elephants on Broadway. I think the price is going to be $150 to $200. We're looking at about 30 to 35 people. So jump on it if you're interested.
Brian,
Yes.
it's Dylan. I'm on the line. I'm also a yes.
All right, thank you. I did not know you joined. Thank you. All right. So next up we have John Calandriello. John, help me out with that.
No, you said it.
Calandriello, okay. Director of the Fairfield Half Marathon, seeking permission to hold the 44th Fairfield Half Marathon, along with 5K and Little Stag, Sun Run, June 1st, and a beer run. Exciting.
Yes. So John Calandrello, 50 Beverly Lane, here at Fairfield. Just real quickly before I start with that, thank you all for volunteering your time to come out and be part of the commission. I was on this commission 20 years ago, so I know it sometimes can feel thankless, and it takes a lot of time, so thank you. I'm lieutenant with the Fairfield Fire Department. It's our 44th annual half marathon road races. You kind of actually summed up most of it. We're looking to use the space at Jennings Beach June 1st and 2nd. And actually, I'd like to introduce my daughter, Madison.
Hi.
Hi, Madison.
She's on our board of directors. She's the secretary of our board of directors. She's a senior at Ward High School, and she's actually a lot more eloquent than I am. So if it's okay with you guys, I'd love to have her actually give our spiel.
Thank you.
Yeah. Madison Calandrello, 50 Beverly Lane as well. So we are asking to hold the 44th annual Fairfield Road Races at Jennings Beach. It will be June 1st and 2nd, Friday and Sunday. The 5K beer mile and Little Stag Fun Run will be on Saturday, and then the half marathon will be on Sunday. So this year we have a new title sponsor, Athletic Brewing Company. They are a completely non-alcoholic beer company based out of Milford, Connecticut, and they are the world's largest non-alcoholic beer company. They're our new title sponsor, and so we are adding a non-alcoholic beer mile to our schedule of events this year, which will basically be 1 mile around the Jennings Beach area, and then at every quarter mile, the participants will drink a can of the non-alcoholic beer. Yes, they've done this event in Westport and in San Francisco, I believe, as well. That's where their other headquarters is based. Yeah. Any other questions that I can kind of talk more about our sponsors?
Approximately the same date as last year?
Yeah.
It's the first weekend in June going forward from the past 2 years now on.
Chris?
Madison, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And could you just expand on some of the nonprofits that you donate to?
Yeah, so we donate to a bunch of charities in the local area. We have supporting organizations that volunteer with us, and then some that we donate to as well. So our signature charities are currently Hole in the Wall Gang, which is started by Paul Newman, like the Camp for Seriously Ill Children in upstate Connecticut, and then Ben's Lighthouse, which was started by Ben Wheeler's mom, who was a victim in Kenya, which donates to like organizations that help children with mental health and providing empathy in the community and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You mentioned in the correspondence that there's been $850,000
Wow.
additional to the 500. Is that raised from teams participating? How's How's that come about?
So with the senior charities, they their participants don't pay an entrance fee, but they just raise donations, and those go straight to the signature charities. Then we have the other charities that support our organization, like YMCA. They volunteer, Wakeman's Boys and Girls Club, CERT, all organizations like that, different sports teams at the high school. Yeah.
Any other questions? Like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Bill? Second. Any further discussion or questions? Anything from the public?
I'm back too. That sounds great.
Back to the commission. All those in favor? Dylan?
Yes.
All right.
I have an emphatic yes.
I just wanted to point out too, just real fast, that we have the Fairfield Beach Residents Association is one of the groups that helps us out every year, are a big supporter of us too. And they're actually on Sunday, they're there helping to park cars and hand out stuff, help the runners, that sort of thing. It's worked out really well for us.
How do you identify people helping with like water stations and all that?
Every helper gets a free T-shirt.
Every volunteer.
So you just have to contact you directly?
Yeah, so we have certain groups that work, in like a whole group will work like one water station, but you can contact us on our website.
Yeah. Okay.
Fairfield has.
.org.
Yes, you can push
Right, so I'll email you, Madison.
Yeah.
And we'll actually, we have, if you email Madison, she'll actually set you up with people that we can to volunteer if people want to volunteer.
Okay, yeah.
One of her, she actually set up a club for the high school, and so a lot of the Honor Society kids do it. And they actually also get letters of volunteer hours to help with their applications for school and things like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, Joanna Dalton is back from last month. Fairfield University Seniors Year Experience Committee with a request to change the date that we approved last month from March 23rd to May 14th.
Hi, Joanna Dalton, 1004 Reed Road in Fairfield. Yes, I'm back. Unfortunately, we did not realize the time constraint. And there was a lot of insurance, risk management, security things that we had to send off to our Fairfield University risk management department, which took a long time to get approved. So therefore, we are extending the polar plunge. It's not going to be so polar anymore, May 14th. We're going to call it something like a senior / stag swim, something like that. Tuesday, May 14th is during our senior week, so it's that week before graduation after all students have moved back home. That is the seniors' last hurrah. That Tuesday is actually called Senior Service Day, so there's service events that go on in the community and on campus. We're actually going to make this again a fundraiser for Cancer Couch. On that Senior Service Day, participants will pay $10 to $15, and the proceeds will help them be able to participate in the event, and all the proceeds will get donated to Cancer Couch. In the meantime, though, I've actually had the chance to meet with one of the founders of Cancer Couch. He is actually a stagnant teenage wife who had breast cancer and passed away, but she was the founder of the company originally. He's very excited. He lives in between Penfield and Jennings Beach, and he's offered to come put a table up for Cancer Couch at the event.
You said he went to Fairfield?
Yeah.
Do you know when?
Oh, he's old.
I don't know.
I'm
said his wife.
I'm just going to say he's a dad.
Okay.
So you look like you might be as old as me. As well.
I don't know. I'm just with my color. Anyways, so yes, we are still planning to have a food truck come. Hopefully Tasty Oak can come down.
Right here.
And the founder of Cancer Couch's nephew is actually a Fairfield senior who has a band. And they play all around campus and at events. So his nephew is going to come and do the event because he knows a lot about the foundation. So he'll be a great person on the mic for that.
Any questions?
So who are you associated with? The school? or-
Sorry, I forgot to say that. It's the Senior Year Experience Committee at Fairfield University. So basically we plan events and accommodations for seniors all throughout the last year, stuff for like getting students from transitioning from college to post-grad financially, housing, we hold socials, we hold events, fun stuff, educational stuff. And this is a fundraiser just to try and get all of the seniors involved in like a community outreach, raise money type of
Okay.
Totally unrelated. But as seniors, is there anything going on campus for the game against Indiana?
Yes, we actually, is it this Saturday?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is. We just got an email that they're doing a watch party at Illicit Brewing. And they're doing food and drink specials during that. I think it's Saturday at 1:30. I could be wrong about the time.
The owner of Illicit went to Fairfield U. as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You guys are everywhere.
Cool. I'm hoping that.
Big Al.
We were all there for the soft opening. So, we're Planet Fitness.
Oh, okay.
Across the
Yeah, yeah,
street is, yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, Shannon.
On May 14th, is the campus, is that only seniors on campus still, or are the rest of the students gone, or is it?
So it's not like all students are gone. Some students work on campus over summer. Some students are international and don't go home like immediately after classes. Some students have to stay for sports. Some students stay in their housing and help with the senior week events as volunteers. So they get to stay. You basically have to get special permission to stay after the last day of finals. But there is a lot of cases where you could be staying, but a majority of the students will be going home before that last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
It probably helps in having less people crash the.
Oh, for sure.
And just a few hours left on Thanksgiving Day. Okay, would someone like to make a motion?
A quick question?
Oh, sure.
I was wondering that, and I apologize I wasn't here at the last meeting, but the senior service day, is this something that the whole senior class is doing service in the Fairfield community? Is that the idea of it?
So yes, they've had Senior Week is like a recurring event every single year. They have, I believe, changed up, but there's always like this specific service, commencement ball, family dance, which takes place on campus. There's like the specific events happen every year. From what I've heard, senior service was after a big night event in the past, which led to not a big participation the next service day. So we're trying to make it more fun, interactive, a little bit of a later time stuff that we're starting at 11, so that we can get more people participating and excited, because right now with the divide we have between off-campus and off-campus students, it's kind of hard to get a big showing, but we think this event would be really popular just because it's not like you're like scrubbing tables as service, like it's something fun that can bring the community together, so we're hoping we have a bigger showing this year.
I was just going to make a suggestion of trying to get some press for that. I think that idea of giving back to the Fairfield community is something that the Fairfield community would love reading about.
Yeah.
Just a
Do you
suggestion.
have any recommendations for platforms we can reach out to?
Patch, Hamlet Hub, the
Be all
Patch,
over the beach.
Hamlet, like
Hamlet Hub.
Okay.
And stay on the good side.
HAMLOT.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, yes.
Okay, thank you. Good to know.
And the Patch would be good.
Yeah.
Patch,
There you go.
like,
Fairfield Patch.
Patch.
Yeah, no, it's everywhere, like all the towns. You might want to write these down though, because
I'll write them down.
put them in your phone. Put them in your phone. I was just, yeah, there you go. Don't write them down.
Okay, anything else? Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Bill, second. Any further discussion? Any from the public? Back to the commission. All those in favor? All right. Have fun.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next up we have a couple marina appeals. John Early, 200 Sunny Home Drive. John here?
There's somebody on the phone, but I don't know if it's John.
John, are you on the phone with us?
This is Justin.
No,
Hey,
not you, Justin.
How you doing?
Yeah, nobody else is on.
Feeling better.
Who is 860-235-5632?
All right, obviously not John.
Not you, Dylan, is it? Dylan?
No, I saw you walk out with.
No,
Justin, what's your number?
no, he's on.
Oh,
We
you're
see him.
on.
Yeah.
All right. John's not here. We will skip that. Kelsey Montalese, 263 Lowry Boulevard.
Sean Montalese, 263 Lowry Boulevard, Chelsea's husband. So yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of good excuses. Basically, I have 3 kids under the age of 4, and I put on my calendar that this is due at the end of the month, and it's actually due on the 23rd, I believe. And I just missed getting Justin the paperwork. I had a situation where I was in Florida, and I couldn't get it all to him in time. I got it to him the next day, and I'm willing to pay the late fee. And my first year owning the slip, first year going through the process, and I can assure everybody it will never happen again.
How long were you on the wait list?
7 years.
7 years?
7 years.
Wow.
It'd be a big bundle that we would now.
All right. Sure. I understand things happen, but this has been a problem of the commission. I've been on the commission a long time, and it's been a problem for as long as I've been on the commission, and Justin over the last several years has worked diligently to clean it up. And Justin has provided all the information to us, the number of notices.
Yeah.
And, he sent copies. It's hard to miss when it's due, that it's not the end of the month. It's hard to miss. And there were 2-week reminders, 1-week reminders, and a 1-week reminder on February 14th does not imply that it's February 29th.
The issue was it's my wife Kelsey who was getting the reminders. She was not. I didn't have access to her email. So I'd like, moving forward, Justin has been fantastic. It's all I think. I'm not saying anything different. I would like to make sure that I'm on the email list moving forward. I think that will also alleviate issues. We signed up 7 years ago.
I know. And that's the unfortunate thing. You waited 7 years for something that is somewhat precious to you.
Very precious.
It's a shame that, as precious as it is, you didn't respond to any, or your wife didn't, forgive me, to any of these notices. But again, waiting for 7 years, you knew what the process was last year.
Correct.
So, and it's, granted, it's not like you've been a member there 20 years like our other appeal that we have, but it's still, you waited 7 years. It's
agreed.
Precious. All right. Anyone have any questions?
Yes, I got a question for Justin and Mr. Montalese. Justin, is there availability for 2 emails per boat?
Unfortunately, there's not. This software that we use, it was built internally by one of the IT folks many, many years ago, and it has the ability for 2 phone numbers, but only one email. So we do like to ask everybody when they return their stuff just to confirm that that's the best email to use. But I also understand some people don't like to necessarily use their ideal email because we do send a lot of other notifications to folks.
Do you send text messages out?
We send a single text to one of the 2 phone numbers through the Everbridge system, and then there are up to 2 reverse 911 voicemails that are sent out to slip holders in January.
Okay. And Mr. Montelis, has your wife, has she been cognizant of any of this notification?
She is not very good about checking her email. So no, she was not.
Okay. So you can essentially say to us that she has just not been looking at anything.
She doesn't check her email very often.
Okay. So why then would you use her email address, knowing that ahead of time, being married?
Right. Good question. So when we signed up for the boat split, is when we first moved to the town 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So I didn't foresee any of the communication or kind of the mechanics of how to have everything set up properly. So my wife went to getting a boat split. I said, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of was on the back burner until last year. And I never took the time to say to Justin, hey, I'd really like to be the primary email.
No, I get it. I mean, I feel for you. You know, I can see 7 years you just kind of let stuff slip by, and your first year being in. I mean, I definitely feel for you. I can understand.
Any other questions?
I have a question about the text. So, Justin, when you text the slip holders, and it says that 459 of them were not confirmed, do you have one of those, like, press Y or N type of text?
That's correct. So when the Everbridge system sends out a communication, it first sends out a text, and folks can either confirm it by clicking on a link at the end of the text. They try to keep that text concise so that they can see that. And typically in the last 3-4 years that we've used this Everbridge system, I get about 1/6 of the folks say yes. So, around anywhere from like 90 to 110. This seems a little bit higher. If you don't confirm, then your phone rings and you get the voicemail, and then you also get the voicemail at the other one.
The other one meaning the second phone number listed?
That's correct. You only receive one text at one number, and then you can receive up to 2 voicemails.
So the text goes to phone number one?
I believe so. I'd have to go. They updated the reports this past off season, so it's harder to dive into which number actually got the text, but I could do a little research to see which one got the text and which one did not.
Just curious, wouldn't a text normally go to the first number on the list, or is that not necessarily the case?
I believe it's actually the second number, but I'd need to confirm on that. I work with the emergency management team, and I kind of give them the database, and then they're the ones that actually massage the spreadsheet to work for Everbridge.
So, Sean, the 2 numbers listed here, one's a 215, and the other is 203-246-9426. Are these both cell numbers?
Yeah. The first is my wife's that's no longer in service. The second is mine.
Okay.
But I should also note that my wife's email was her maiden name, too. So, like, a lot changed. She now has kelsey.montelis@gmail.com versus kelsey.brooks@gmail.com.
Okay, well, it looks like the messages from Justin did go to Kelsey Montelis at Gmail.
Okay.
Well, we don't know which one was texted.
Yeah.
I can assure you this won't happen again. I'm just sure Greg
That's
Any other question first?
Maybe for Justin, when you send out the letter on the 23rd, what does the letter say?
I thought I provided it, but it basically it's just a form letter saying that the deadline has passed, and we're going to give the slip to the next person, and that's usually, as you can see in my correspondence, I had 4 people reach out for that, and 2 decided against appealing for various reasons, but then the other 2 did.
Okay. And has this slip been given away or reassigned?
No. Whenever someone reaches out to me to appeal, I put a hold on that particular slip till the completion of the Parks and Rec Commission meeting. So for that month, I've sent out offers to other for other slips, but A23 is kind of in a I don't want to say no man's land, but it's got a hold on it, so my staff won't assign that someone to that slip.
Okay. What's the waiting list right now?
Right now, for the medium slip, it's the most difficult one to judge because there's only 65 medium slips. I would say it's anywhere from 7 to 9 years. The small and the large, I can give a more concise number, but the median's truly a range with the limited number of spaces that we have. We don't have consistent turnover.
Okay, this is a rule for the commission. It's been a while since we've had the Marina Subcommittee. I have a feeling you were on that at one point, and 2 other people were probably not. You were on that at one point.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then also for the Rules Subcommittee, I know you're part of it. You are part of it. Has anybody ever discussed, and I'm not sure if this applies now, but maybe in the future, for somebody that in this situation, you do give maybe a 12-month leeway? Has that ever come up in discussion?
That hasn't, but basically it comes to the commission to make the decision.
And that's what I'm asking the commission right now, if it's ever been up for discussion, because I haven't sat on either of those subcommittees, so I'm just curious.
What are you asking?
Essentially, like, in his situation, waiting for 7 years, dropping the ball.
First year.
Would there be a leeway? Would there be a first-year leeway? What's the proper terminology for that? But essentially, first-year leeway, and then year 2, he comes back and, he gets kicked in the curb.
Can I jump in on that really fast?
Yes, Justin.
It's a question.
Yeah, so as a logistics, looking at that for managing slips and whatnot, we're now in the process of having more open slips with the new rules. Folks come up for an offer and they have a year to, they pay for their slip, but they have a year to actually fit the boat in the slip. Gone are the days of deferring one time, going and buying a boat, and then when your name comes up, you had to have a boat. I think if we added this where you have a 1-year grace period, I think it would make opening up new spaces for the wait list a little more challenging, because I would possibly go out and put an offer to somebody who's the first year. Anybody who missed the first year, I would then have to hold those spaces for the wait list.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah. I'm more than happy to, if somebody reaches out and appeals, I'm more than happy to pause that and hold that particular slip. Or, for example, that first year that I was there and didn't actually manage the communication since I started right when the deadline was, we had like 15 or 20 appeals.
Okay.
We approved a lot of them.
We did,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But that's why we reestablished the rules.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we had to move the meetings to different locations.
I remember.
Yeah.
Any further questions? Anyone want to support this, make a motion, or not?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
So what's the motion again?
to approve the appeal.
Oh, okay.
All right. Any further discussion of the commission?
I'll approve.
Yeah. Good to know, but we're not there yet.
Oh, sorry.
It's
getting late.
So the degree of lateness, I mean, obviously there were a number of steps in this process, but past the final letter was, what, 2 days?
2 days, yeah.
Well, not even. The correspondence was, Justin, the correspondence was the same day as the 20, the notice?
So the deadline was 4:30 p.m. Wednesday, the 21st. Thursday, the 22nd, I don't want to steal Anthony's glory, but we had summer camp registration. So that day was pretty busy, all hands on deck. So I didn't send out the email to those folks that I had not heard from until Friday. So it was one full business day plus a couple hours.
Okay, so the notice, that notice in your hand went out the 23rd, and the Montfelices responded on the 23rd?
That's correct.
Okay. One question? Oh, I apologize. So this is the same email that all of the warning notices went to. It's the same email that then received the "you're not getting the slip."
Yeah.
Is that correct?
No, it was forwarded from Kelsey to Sean.
Yes, but it went to Kelsey.
Correct.
At the
So
same.
she saw that email.
So your answer to your question is yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Jane, I cut you off.
No. I was just looking at this letter, and maybe it's for another day, but I think the wording is a bit misleading on the letter. The final letter that sent it says, as we did not receive your paperwork or payment, your slip is subject to forfeit.
As opposed
to the next
is
person, as opposed to has been forfeit. Again, it might be for another day. It's a bit misleading. But again, by this time it was already passed, 2 days.
Okay. Anything else? Discussion? Questions from the commission? Anything from the public? All right. Back to the commission. There's a motion to approve the appeal. All those in favor? Okay. All those opposed? All right. It's approved. Thank you.
Don't be here next year.
Change the email. Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
Okay. Next up, Jen, the Board of Education report.
Yeah, not a lot going on. I'm going to put this in the minutes. We had a town hall last night that not one person showed up at, aside from a couple elected officials who wanted to hear what community members were talking about, which I'll just throw out there as a topic of general concern because there's a lot going on and nobody was there, but that's passed. The two big things going on is our budget was moved on from the Board of Selectmen. There was a $1.3 million cut, which will be entirely covered by more favorable insurance rates. So that's not coming out of nothing that isn't easy to cover. We're now before the Board of Finance. We have, well, not us, the whole town has the town hall on Saturday the 30th. The tough part of that is that's Easter weekend. Unfortunately, I'm wondering if they're going to get a similar response to what we got, which is not a huge audience, which is a shame because that's your chance to weigh in on a multi-million-dollar town budget and argue for what you're wanting. But in any case, so then after that, RTM, the only other issue was we did finally have our meeting with the State Board of Ed regarding the racial imbalance plan. Very interesting conversation. There seemed to be several State Board of Ed members who were very vested in the argument we made regarding why this would be difficult for us to do, coming darn close to saying there might be issues with the law itself, at which point the chair running the committee brought them right back to not the topic for right now, what are we doing with Fairfield? And they essentially said, you need to bring us another amendment to your racial imbalance plan, which is nothing I think that the board is concerned about. We have to say what we're going to try to keep doing. As of right now, we are not anticipating that they're going to, because the work of this past year and a half was governed by a deadline, which was September of 2024. And I don't believe that is something we're going to be dealing with anymore at this point. We're just going to keep working on it. The other wild card in this is we know that several State Board of Ed members' terms expire. Will they be re-upping, including the chair? Will they not? No, we have no idea, so there could be a whole different tenor in a future conversation. We don't know, but that racial imbalance amendment is due by July. Yeah.
How can Hartford supersede the Supreme Court decision from the federal government last year? I mean, that's the law of the land.
Yeah, but it's not exactly an apples-to-apples comparison, is undoubtedly what they'd say. For example, in one of the majority views, I think filed separately in that federal case, there was while you can't do this based on race, it's okay to do it by neighborhood. I can't look at one person and decide what school they go to based on their race.
Correct.
But you can do it to neighborhoods, which of course is exactly what we're doing. So it's not a one-to-one comparison. I'm not making an argument. I want to be clear.
No, I understand. I'm just trying to learn from what you know. There's two separate entities. You have the state, and you have the Supreme Court, and where does it all meld together? That's the question.
And ultimately, because the Connecticut state law has not been challenged in that way, it stays on the books. So,
are there any federal lawsuits against this?
No, not against Connecticut. No.
Zero. Okay.
Now, Greenwich goes up for its meeting in April. They have not done the scope of work that Fairfield did. I'll be curious if they get a different reception or not. We'll certainly be paying attention to what happens with them.
But here's the thing. I mean, if it's the will of the people within the town of Fairfield to go against Hartford, that's where I have the issue.
So you're asking if the town of Fairfield can sue?
I'm not. Let's just move on from that.
Okay.
Everything I've read, everything I've spoken with, people are very happy with their neighborhood schools. No one wants to be bused across town. It's an issue. I mean, I have enough trouble getting my kid up in the morning to go to Woods when we're walking distance to Ludlow. You know, I can get him to Ludlow in 5 minutes, but instead he's at Woods, and that's neighborhoods are neighborhoods, and everybody enjoys that, and that's what everybody's talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel the need to say one thing. None of the plans we were talking about involved busing kids across town. None of them. And we do have a current situation where we do bus kids across town, which is those schools that go to Tomlinson have a 45-minute to an hour drive. So to be clear, we have an existing situation where we are busing kids across town. But elementary schools, none of the proposals involved. In fact, we moved on past ones that might have involved like those satellite districts, which would have involved more busing. Any moving we were looking at doing in any scenario involved contiguous. You know, if you could be shaved off from this school and moved into that one. But none of the plans, that was part of the hyperbole that took off, which was the argument that we were going to be busing kids across town, and no plan we were ever looking at would have involved something like that. That said, I'm not arguing for moving forward right now. It looks like nothing will be happening. Now, we do have a separate situation where we do have, and it happens to be McKinley, is bursting at the seams. If they'd gotten one more section, we would have had to do something like put art on a cart or whatever. So we do have a situation potentially there where if we are looking at redistricting going forward, it's going to be, I don't believe, rooted in anything related to racial imbalance.
Yeah.
It'll be because we can't fit them, and we do have room in other buildings.
Makes sense.
Right. So come July, what are the ramifications if you don't come up with a plan that they approve in Hartford?
I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
I think our amendment is going to I have not seen it. We didn't have a discussion. What we have charged staff with doing is bring us language, and then the board is going to debate it, change it as we will, because ultimately it's our plan, but staff is going to take a crack at writing it. My sense is it's going to be a lot of, we're going to keep working at it. And I'm not that worried about it, because again, we'll see. So I shouldn't, because I certainly can't promise anything.
Yeah.
But we have not, no one is telling us we should be exceptionally worried.
Okay, good to know.
Is it just us in Greenwich, or the only two districts, or is it?
I believe another town, oh God, I forget the name of it. Was it Hamden? Other towns crop up and then they fall off the list and then they crop back on. Fairfield and Greenwich are the ones that have been on for 2 decades.
Mm-hmm. It's those towns that are essentially not quite the large cities, but they're not the towns. I mean, where Greenwich is 65, Hamden is 65,000, Fairfield 65,000 people. So that's the issue.
Yeah, and West Hartford.
Exactly.
I think they just fell below. I'm not positive about that, but Fairfield and Greenwich are the ones that
Greenwich has that one pocket.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
That's why we're very interested to see if the state handles them any differently next month.
Do you know, do they have a plan, or are they just going to go in there saying, hey, we're Greenwich?
Governors.
You're asking me to talk about my boss. So I know that they have not been doing any of the work that we have been doing. Their contention is that we're not interested in doing that kind of busing. It would involve long rides.
Thank you.
Yes.
We have 45 minutes.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Rules subcommittee update. We have anything? Or are we going to wait?
Yeah, we're going to wait till the next meeting.
So if I could just chime in and let you guys know that the town attorney did respond back to me, but it was late last night, so it couldn't make the agenda. So I'll forward it over to you guys, but I think that's what we discussed, potentially put on the next agenda. So.
And was the commentary on that finite piece we were looking at, or all the rules that we've been talking about?
No, this is specific to the fields and whether or not, in his opinion, would be legally defensible. Right. And he cites several cases and gives his opinion. So again, we get to. I'll get it to you guys.
Subcommittee members, please copy me.
Yep.
All the other rules, are they still with the attorney?
All the other ones are. No, beach hours are the only one that was approved here. Everything else he had no issues with.
Oh, Marina, all set. We can bring that.
We can bring that in April for official approval.
Right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like in April we can bring all
everything.
Yeah, we should be able to.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then, we're speaking of do we ever want to attack the marina again?
I've talked recently about it, so it might be coming back up soon. But
well, this is the first select person since we did this.
Yep.
Brenda made it clear that she didn't want to address it.
Yep.
So, but when we were having the tours, and we probably can count the number of RTM members who visited.
He came twice.
Yes. Yes. All right. And the director and program reports.
Sorry, so I apologize. I didn't give you guys anything written this week, this month. I have been slammed. The office has been slammed. It's just that time. It's budget season. So I apologize. So I'm just going to give you a verbal here. We did do summer camp registration, as Justin mentioned, on February 22nd. It went well. Certain sites filled up as within minutes, which is what happens every year. Other sites are still available. We did our bonfire registration. Again, that filled up. We sold out of all our bonfires within the first half hour, which was good. Again, limited to one per household, which makes availability for a lot of other people to get them. There's well over 300 and something spots, so that was nice. Unfortunately, the Board of Finance is holding their public comment on March 30th, as stated, where there probably won't get too many people, but we also have our Beach Bunny 5K on March 30th, and we have over 950 runners scheduled for the 5K. That starts at 9 a.m. So again, 950 runners as of right now. We're still taking registrations. We had 700 last year, so we're up, which is great. And that doesn't count any of the kids doing the fun run or the Easter egg hunt and all that. So we're looking forward to a great day. Galen's been working really hard on it. It's going to be good. Hopefully the weather holds out for us. Rest of the staff right now is trying to finalize summer brochure content. Summer brochure will be mailed out mid-April. Budget update. Our budget was approved by the Board of Selectmen. I presented last week to the Board of Finance to about midnight. They asked some good questions. It was late night, but
Did they zero in on anything?
knock on wood, no. Burr Mansion was some of the questions. You know, what are we going to do with that? Penfield a little bit, and then the golf course was a large portion of the time. I don't anticipate that they're going to bring me back. Again, knock on wood for that. I'm scheduled to present to the RTM on April 8th. I do anticipate getting a lot of questions there, and I only say that based on my presentation to them earlier this week on capital projects and the number of questions that I've been getting since that presentation. I mean, that's part of the reason I couldn't type anything today to have for you guys. I mean, I've got, I don't know, one RTM member probably sent me 25 questions. So just trying to put together answers for that before their meeting on Monday. Project-wise, we've got 18 projects on the board right now that are currently going on. Some of those include RLMS turf conversion. We're still in permitting, hopefully getting out of permitting and going out to bid. Tungus Hill pickleball courts, those additional pickleball courts did go out to bid. They're out right now, so we'll be closing that in about a week, I believe, 2 weeks maybe. Working on Fairfield Woods tennis courts in a nice little seating area. The HSR driving range upgrades, trying to get the final funding for that. The electronic gate for the Jennings Beach entrance that was requested by the PD in the neighborhood. We're looking to install that the first week of April. We're trying to fix the Penfield overflow parking lots, the only two lots that are available right now that were mud pits, so you'll see some work going on there. And a whole bunch of other things that most people won't even notice, but we're working on them. Another thing that I just want to bring to everybody's attention is just some staffing things that we have going on. My superintendent of parks, Doug Novak, has resigned effective April 30th, so I'll be looking for a replacement for him immediately, but he is staying on through April to try to help me finish up some projects. And also, Chelsea Deskin resigned effective March 30th, so Beach Bunny will be her last event with us. So we wish both of them the best in whatever they're doing after this. They were fantastic to work with. We're going to miss them. But again, working with the administration on trying to fill those positions as quickly as we can as we go into our busy season. Any questions?
I know there's a few volunteers for the Beach Bunny. Mm-hmm. What time do you guys want us there?
Check with Galen. She's got a.
Okay. She has, so she'll get in touch. Okay.
I would hate to tell you the wrong time.
So what? I'm just looking at my calendar, and I have the Beach Bunny somehow set up at 5 in the evening. What time's the actual?
It starts at 9.
9. All right. Because I'm like that.
We're there at 7 a.m. But I don't know that she has you guys getting there at 7. So best is to email her.
I'm the bonfire guy.
Yeah, I was there at 8. It was fine. I set up the table.
All right.
That sounds right. I don't want to say that that's it.
All right.
I will make sure.
I'm like, I know it's not 5 p.m. All right, perfect.
Not 5 p.m.
Yes.
For sure. What are you doing at HSR charging range?
We are putting in covered bays for the 20 bays that are there. So they'll have covers, top tracer. So each bay will have the computer screen. When you hit it, tells you whether how far the ball went, whether you sliced it. You can set different targets, things like that. There'll be more like backyard lighting on the structure itself. That goes out about 50 yards, so we'll be able to extend our hours into the early evenings, into the dark. We'll have heat.
And the neighbors aren't complaining.
No, the neighbors are complaining. The neighbors aren't complaining, yes. But we think that this is a valuable addition to that amenity. And we're not increasing the number of bays, so it's not the number of golfers that are going to increase. It's just the time frame that they'll be up there. will expand, but the number will be the same.
Do you have to go through zoning or anything?
We have to go through building. I talked to planning and zoning, and I talked to conservation, and both were out of this just because of the type of the prefab structures we were putting in didn't go above a certain height. Again, the lights are here, so they're not 50 feet up in the air,
Right.
so there were no issues there. We did have a lighting study done that shows the footprint of all the foot candles for the lights and that they only go out 50 yards. And, if you were in the house that's closest, there's not a chance you're going to see them. So we did all the research on that. The one big question that's come up is, I mentioned that we were doing propane heating, and that kind of got everybody in a tizzy. But it's the most cost-effective. So I'm just having the consultant put together the data that shows that propane is going to be cheaper in the long run than electric. The cheaper option would have been natural gas, but we don't have natural gas on the street up there. So, but that's what we're doing at the driving range.
Are the complaints coming from neighbors in Hoydens Hill or, remember?
Hoydens Hill, yeah.
Okay.
No, it's
remember, it was up Bluebell, that area up there. Right?
Yep.
It was originally.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's in Fairfield.
Oh, okay.
But if you go up Morehouse past the Hoydens, and make that left up the hill,
so it's on the backside.
Yeah, backside. They were complaining about the spotted owl and the
that came up again. Spotted owl came up again.
Oh yeah.
What?
What is that?
I don't know. Yeah.
It's an endangered owl. That
I don't know. Why would they?
Why are they there?
Anthony, just I've been driving by Kiwanis a lot. We have a beach house now on the end there for the winter.
Yep.
Here. But the number of golfers on the par 3, it's closed, is I'm seeing it all the time.
They're sneaking on.
There's areas
we've been calling the police. So
there's some areas on the fence that.
But the golf course is open now, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
we did call the police on the last batch.
There's one area in the fence you can actually just walk through. It's been pushed down so far.
Okay. In your budget discussions, anything from a capital standpoint around turf fields?
Nope.
So Sullivan?
Not on the waterfall.
Not on the waterfall.
It's still in that little holding group. It's been pulled off the chart and slid into that group of maybe someday.
And any plans coming to us on the horizon for
Doogie
Yellow?
Probably Doogie Yellow and Giant Steps. I did have conversations with the administration on both of those. So yes, I'm hoping to have something to you soon. But
are you able to say anything around Giant Steps? Or is it too early?
It's way too early. Okay. Way too early. But I was just going to say, Tungus Hill and RLMS have been a process. So I'm trying to get these other two to you, but just the length that those two have taken, it's been something.
When you say Tungus Hill, what do you
The 2 pickleball courts, the additional pickleball courts.
And then Ludlow Middle.
That's easily, 2 years in the making here.
Wasn't that supposed to start in March?
Yeah, we're supposed to.
So what are you looking at, another year?
Sitting in engineering now.
Oh, gosh.
But they're on it. I called them on Monday and told me we're on it.
Does it have to go through our team and Board of Finance?
No. God, it already went through all that.
All right, good.
So when's that slated to?
So if it gets out of engineering in the next week or so, it'll go out to bid.
Mm-hmm.
It just needs to get through engineering. The designs are done, just needs them to sign off and say, yep, you can put this out to bid. So it would go through purchasing. Purchasing would just put the front end on.
And do they have the capacity to build that out, November through February?
Yeah, it's weather dependent. Our plan, and we've told the school system this as well, is as soon as it goes out to bid. So if it goes out to bid in the first week of April, and let's just say we award a contract first week of May, we're going to start construction as soon as we can. As long as the construction company can start, we're starting. So even if we're in school, we're not waiting for the summer to start. We're gonna go. So that's
we're doing prep work for the construction company, or
no, construction company is handling it all.
Okay, so we expect they will start.
Correct. So it'll be based on their availability.
How long does it take to put one of those in?
It's about 16 weeks, normally 4 months. So
wow.
When's that Ellison on the Board of Ed?
The Board of Ed only runs the 2 high school fields. That's it. They run all the fields at Ward, and they run the turf field and the front field at Ludlow. All the other fields at the schools are ours.
Wow.
We oversee.
Anything further on the Rooster River flooding?
I saw a petition, I don't know if it's called a petition or a notice from the Army Corps to the neighborhood. Was posted, but it was for in the woods. So it wasn't the entire Tunxus Hill Park. It was just that section in the woods that they were proposing their stuff. So it sounds like they backed off and are going to do something in the woods.
Isn't engineering they're due to come in front of us to talk about Owen Fish, the catch basin there remember?
Are they switching to the woods from Owen Fish?
No, not Owen Fish. Tunxus Hill is the one I saw the notice on. I haven't seen anything on Owen Fish. I don't know. It was one on Fairchild Wheeler that I got notice at my house for. Yeah,
they're talking about that. It's up there. They were saying something about it.
Yeah, off the backside of Windsor.
I there was in the original plan there were more than one.
Yes, but those two I know were noticed. The Tunxus Hill and the one up near Fairchild Wheeler. Those two were noticed by Army Corps. Petitioning to the neighbors if you have an issue. Now is the time. You have this time frame to weigh in. But no, engineering, I believe right now, I don't know when they're coming back, if they're coming back anytime soon. I mean, I've got 18 projects going on. They probably have 38 projects going on. So all these bridges were just approved. I know they're getting all their funding, so they're running around right now. And then we have Penfield.
And where's the town getting all this funding for this tree work? And there have been thousands of trees cut down away from the wires.
Yeah. That might be UI, though.
Yeah.
It might be.
Oh, might be.
Or federal grants.
They took a dozen down on my property alone.
Yeah. And they do a really not so good job.
They keep showing up at my house, starting to unpack, and I run out and go, no, go away. I have to protect my one tree in my yard.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for the good of the cause?
Yeah.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Great.
Thanks, everyone.